Hi everyone, I am doing a reading today in the forest, one of my favourite places to come to. I'm doing this reading for Beltane and Samhain, or All Hallows Eve, depending on the hemisphere that you're in. So for those of you who are in the northern hemisphere, it'll be Beltane, and for those of you who are in the southern hemisphere, it'll be Samhain or All Hallows Eve. So these are traditionally points on the wheel of the year, the Celtic wheel of the year or the Wiccan wheel of the year. So I thought I'd really tap into that at the moment. Beltane is a springtime energy and celebrating life and the life returning, and it's a real fun energy, very fairy orientated as well. So for those of you who love working with the fae, that's a perfect one to work with. And for us here in the southern hemisphere, Beltane is traditionally classified as the Wiccan or Celtic New Year. It's where the tradition of Halloween comes from. It's the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, and because of that reason, that's why I'm here in the forest. I thought I'd try and tap into that energy just to see if we can get some really nice strong messages today. I'm using two decks that I brought with me. Both are fairy decks, so you can see the theme that I'm going with at the moment. So I'm going to start off with my Wild Wisdom of Fairy Oracle. Okay, so the first card out of the deck is a great one. It's the Grail Fairy. You can see it there. So this one is really great as a message for those of you for Beltane, and also for us coming into the end of the Wiccan New Year and the start of another one. The message from this one is fertility, the return of life, health and life cycles. So it's a really powerful energy of knowing that the end is done. Everything negative is done. We're ending one cycle and we're beginning another one. It's that fertile grounds and knowing that we're coming into that real strong fertile energy now. This one was on the bottom of the deck. I didn't think it was significant, but clearly it is. And it's Glimpse. One of my favorite cards in the deck. This card can have a couple of meanings. So for those of you who are in relationships or looking for relationships, this card can come into a reading quite often to say that there is someone who you're interested in, but they may not be aware. They may be playing hard to get. This can be a game sort of card. That's the whole image of the glimpse, so you're only glimpsing aspects of it. But for me, this card is strongly talking about the indigo children, rainbow children, Christian children, that kind of energy. So this is that the new cycle, coming into a new cycle. To me, I do feel this is a lot of people awakening and stepping into their gifts now. Glimpse is all about people's gifts and stepping in between the veils, which is a perfect card at this point in time because we are at that time where it's the veil is finished here for us anyway. So it's almost like people are going to be having perhaps some really weird situations around you. You're going to be feeling your psychic senses opening a lot more, and it's nothing to be afraid about. It is something that I do feel everyone is protected at this point in time, but to just be aware that if you are feeling weird sensations or you are experiencing different situations, that it's only because you are going through a next stage of awakening and your gifts will be coming to you. Another one of my favorite cards in this deck, the Midnight Prince. So this is brilliant. So those of you who have been in these relationships and playing these games, this is a really key card here for saying to you, ask for what you want. This card is all about being truthful, and it's also, I mean, look at the card. The Midnight Prince is like the dark prince in the forest who comes to you. You know, it's the kind of energy that if you were walking through the forest like this, you would really want to run into a fairy like this and be swept away and taken to fairyland. This is a card that says to you, ask for what you want now. Be completely honest, because you're going to get what you want, and the only way that you can achieve what you want is by being honest and asking for it. It's being upfront. So if you're toying with someone or if someone's toying with you, this is saying, be honest now. Communicate your feelings. Communicate what you want to achieve. And also the great thing is we've got this fertile energy. So this is new cycles, new beginnings. So if you are looking at relationships at this point in time, this is a great energy to tap into, because you can move this relationship forward. If you are in a current relationship, sorry, I'm just going to try and get comfortable. If you are in a current relationship and you're wanting to take things to the next level, or you're wanting to go through some more communication and step into a new phase in your relationship, this is a great energy as well for that. It's showing you that you will be able to do that now. You will be able to take it to the next stage, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to communicate what it is that you want. A lot of these cards as well, you can see that we've got so much blue energy here. I mean, it's all blue or shades of blue. That's throat chakra, that's communication. So communication is key right now, and that's where that energy is coming in, of communicating what it is that you want out of life. If it's not in relationships and if it's not with a particular person, then this is communicating with yourself, being honest with yourself about the goals and the dreams that you have and where you want to see yourself in the next 5-10 years, and know that you are in a fertile beginning now. See if these cards have got anything else for us. Okay, so next out of the deck we have Beauty and the Beast, unconditional love. So I do feel this is very strongly for you people in relationships at this point in time, or looking to start relationships. Beauty and the Beast, unconditional love. You know, this asking for what you want with the Midnight Prince, and glimpsing, you know, glimpsing the future, glimpsing at the potential that you can see, and tapping into this unconditional love. This is also card number 31. So 3 in 1 is 4, which is all about your foundations and building things. So this is building the future that you want. And I do feel that this is very strong for those of you in relationships at this point in time, taking that next step, coming into a new phase in your relationships. And also this is green energy, which is heart chakra energy. So this is opening yourself up to that potential, opening yourself up to not being stubborn. I do feel a lot of people's emotions have been running high lately. We may have been having a lot of arguments and a lot of disagreements. So this is asking you to come back to that energy of opening up your heart, bringing in that unconditional love and forgiveness again, and being able to communicate. Communication is key here. Making sure that you're communicating the way you feel, and communicating how you want things to progress, but doing it in a non-judgmental way and not defensive as well. And for those of you who aren't in relationships and are finding that this could be in regards to you opening up to your gifts and your awakening, this is a really strong energy of saying that you need to remember to have unconditional love for yourself. You know, don't feel guilty about things that are happening. Don't feel guilty about communicating them with other people as well. Making sure that you are truly loving yourself. This is a time that you really need to tap into that self-love and that self-care, because when we do go through awakenings, it can really drain us energetically. It can drain us. So this is just being aware and just being careful of that. And the reason why I say this is because the other card that came out is the Secret Doorway. This is a great card to have at the moment in the forest too, because you can see she's in a forest and she's opening up the door. So she's opening up that door between the veils. And this card is about working with intuition, second sight opening, dimensional doorways. And this is brilliant. This is that in between the worlds, and knowing that you are glimpsing on the other side. So if you're trying to communicate with anyone on the other side, or maybe guides or loved ones, you know, this is a great time to be able to do that. This is a great time to be able to send your love to those people who have crossed over. This is also a great time to tap into your spiritual guides as well, and your higher self, because this is glimpsing the other side. This is glimpsing through the veil. And this is also knowing, in the sun's shining on it a bit there we go. This is also knowing in relationships that you need to work with your intuition as well, and understand you know, what's ego and what's intuition, because our ego comes in most of the time when we have fears and we have anxieties and we have this worry that perhaps the person's going to leave us, or they don't love us the way that we need to. That's a lot of the time our ego coming in. So this is asking you to take a step back from the ego when you start to go through these moments in your relationships where you are having these fears or anxieties, or you're feeling really low in the relationship, it's asking you just to really be present in the moment, in that feeling, and understand, is it actually your truth, or is this coming from your ego? Is it coming from your higher self or your ego? And really understanding now that the ego needs to be pushed aside. And this is one of the messages from this is second sight opening. So this is your third eye opening. So seeing between the words, seeing between the lines. It's a real powerful energy of knowing that if you trust yourself at this point in time, your intuition is going to tell you the truth. So this can also, I don't feel this is a lot of endings at this point. I do feel this is new beginnings. I do feel relationships, both romantic, business, and family, are all coming into a new phase, new energy. This is where, I mean, everything we've got here is all about new cycles beginning, and working with these gifts and asking for what you want. This is the key energy that you need to remember behind all of this, is that communication for saying what it is that you want. So I'm going to use my Fairy Forest deck now. I don't know if you can hear it, but that sound is the wind through the trees in the forest. I absolutely love it. Okay, so the first card that has come out of the deck is Atheling. A really pretty card. And her message is nobility, grace, and gratitude. So this is coming back to, I mean, I do feel I have to say this. I say this quite a lot lately, but I do feel this is needed. So you can see she's wearing an absolutely stunning crown. I feel that most of you need to hear the words straighten your crown. You are a queen or a king in your life, and you need to embrace that, and not do so in a tyrant way or in a negative way. This is doing it with nobility, with grace, and having gratitude as well. So it's being grateful for what you have, being grateful for the good things in your life, and also having grace and that dignity as well. So, you know, I mean, it's when you think of royalty, I know there's a lot of negative situations with some people in history, but when you think of royalty, a royal person, you know, holds themselves with dignity, holds themselves with grace. They don't have outbursts. They don't act like a child. Really, is the key energy here. If they have a disagreement, they do so in a polite way. So I do feel this is asking you to step into that energy, straighten your crown. Remember that you are royalty yourself. You are a divine being. You're a divine soul. So stepping into that and being graceful in your life, remembering that your life is in your control. And this is asking you to remember that you need to act your age is a big thing that I feel. Act your age, act like an adult in situations. If something isn't going the way that you want, and there's a disagreement happening, or you're uncomfortable in your situation, then it's asking you just take a step back, take a breather, take a moment, and put yourself in the future for a second. If you react the way that you're wanting to react, how is that going to look? Is it going to make the person react in a bad way towards you, or is it going to be a productive conversation? So this is asking you to do that, to think forward, to glimpse the future. This is all that looking forward energy and acting accordingly. And it's not about backing down. It's not about being a doormat or being walked over. It's just about having self-respect for yourself, and knowing that if you respect yourself, other people will respect you. And also, if you respect others, then they will respect you. I know that's not always the case, but you can know in yourself and be confident in yourself that you did everything in your power to act the right way. You did everything in your power to be a responsible person. You acted with grace. The bottom of the deck here is before the gathering. And the message from this one is celebration, anticipation, and event. So I do feel this is coming back to that Grail fairy energy, that fertility, the return of life energy that we had in the beginning, of knowing, like, it's almost like you can feel this sense of anticipation. A lot of you may be feeling at the moment that something's coming. You just don't know what. And it's not a negative feeling. Some of you may be coming from a place of fear and anxiety, and that's because you're letting your ego get the better of you. But this energy, a lot of the time when you have this sense of anticipation, it's because something positive is going to be coming into your life. It's a new phase, a new step. Your higher self already knows and is trying to communicate through your intuition, but we just don't listen, or we don't have the ability to understand. And this is that energy, that anticipation, celebration. We are going to be stepping into this positive time. We are going to be stepping into a new phase in our lives, and it's going to be extremely beneficial. I'm going to keep drawing from the bottom of the deck right now because I feel like this is the messages that need to come through. So I have Shapeshifter, card number 4. So again, this 4 energy is quite strong with transformation and understanding that we're going through change. We're rebuilding the foundations of our life. We're shapeshifting. The message from this one is transformation, primal wisdom, and instinct. So again, we have strong messages from all of these cards with acting with your intuition and trusting your intuition and listening to your heart as well. So this is that energy of transforming, shape-shifting, and stepping into a new phase. We're stepping into a new energy in our lives, whether that be relationships, our personal life, whatever it might be. Our energy is going through a change, and we are being able, primal wisdom is one of the messages here. So this is knowing that we're tapping into that intuition, which is a primal instinct. We're tapping into our higher self, our psychic abilities. And again, on the bottom of the deck is the Queen of the Darkwood Elves, a 4 energy again, card number 40. So her message is premonition, foreshadowing, and mystery. So this is knowing, a lot of you may be having a lot of dreams right now that are not really making sense, but if you actually start paying attention to the messages, the symbols, and the signs, which I want to say the sigil keeper was on the bottom of that, and her messages, symbols, signs, and messages. A lot of you may be having these kind of things, or maybe you're having stuff happen during the day where you're seeing signs around you. It could be through songs, numbers, anything like that. This is all signs from your higher self and from your guides coming through at the moment and trying to communicate with you. They're trying to show you and let you glimpse the future, and also trying to help you tap into your abilities as well. And this is that energy of knowing that we are seeing it. So those premonitions that you're seeing, those visions that you're seeing, are all coming through as signs and messages to you. You need to start paying attention to the signs, the messages. And this is the last card I'm going to draw from the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this one is Freya, and his message is abundance, peace, and contentment. So this is coming back to that celebration, that anticipation, and the return of life, the fertility that we had in the beginning. This is where we're stepping into abundance, peace, and contentment. I do feel this is very strongly in coming back to our roots. A lot of us now are, we're in isolation at this point in time, so we don't have the ability to do a lot of things that we usually would do. So our options are to go outside, like what I'm doing right now, and to experience nature, to go for walks, to pick up hobbies like gardening or knitting and sewing, and really coming back to our roots. Learning how to bake bread and make things from scratch, because we have the time to slow down. And these things are almost, in a way, signs and messages from our higher selves of knowing when all of this is over, when the new cycle begins, you need to remember these moments. You need to remember these things that you've started looking at, because these are the things you need to carry forward into this new aspect of your life, because this is who we're supposed to be. We are supposed to be more calm. We are supposed to be more in touch with nature. We are supposed to be simplistic. It's about enjoying life. Yes, things like technology, and the wonders of all of the world of technology are brilliant things, and they've opened up a lot of options for us. I'm doing this right now to talk to people who are all over the world, but at the same time, sorry, I'm on a hill here, so it's not exactly the most comfortable. At the same time, we need to remember that our roots and who we are as people, and the real raw energy of humankind, is to be at peace with one another, and to be at peace in our situations, in our lives, and in our surroundings. And this is an energy that is really powerful to tap into, because it affects everything. It affects your relationships, it affects your emotions, it affects your mental state. So the reason why I feel this is such a strong energy is because tapping into this primal energy right now is going to help benefit everything. It is going to have a ripple effect through your whole life. And I know that in the beginning we had a lot of stuff towards relationships, and then we're coming through into these psychic abilities and these psychic openings. But they're all linked. It's all connected. Some people might be in relationships where the partner is only there to help you go through an awakening. That's their mission, and their point in your life is to only help you go through an awakening. So if that means the relationship needs to end, it needs to end. Or it may mean that you're both there to help guide each other. A lot of twin flames are in this situation where they're going through a lot of conflict because they're mirroring each other. They're mirroring each other's energy in order to help each other grow. And growth is painful. It is not something that we enjoy doing. It is not something that, we like. We are creatures of comfort. We don't like change. So the growth period of this is going to be uncomfortable. But this is knowing that at the end of it, once you get to the end, this is where we're coming into. We're coming into that energy of knowing that we're going to have abundance, peace, and contentment. I mean, what people think of abundance this day and age is having a lot of money and, a lot of material things. But abundance really isn't that. Abundance is being able to have a roof over your head, being able to experience joy in your day-to-day life. It's having food on the table. It's having a lot of positive relationships in your life. It's moments in time. Abundance is not always materialistic, and that's where we need to step from. We need to get out of the materialistic mindset, and we need to step into the energy of being abundant in our minds. And the King of the Darkwood Elves just jumped out. So we had the Queen come out before, and now the King's come out. And his message is authority, credibility, and status. So I do feel this is coming back to that nobility aspect of holding yourself with authority, holding yourself as royalty. Sometimes it can mean that we need to take the emotion out of the situations. And this is key for the relationships, because I was talking about relationships when he jumped out, of knowing that in relationships, sometimes the best thing to do is to be unemotional. It sounds horrible, but the only way that we can work through such strong emotions is to actually take a step back completely from the emotions. The King of the Darkwood Elves is a very unemotional seeming character. He's very to the point. It's like the King of Swords in the tarot. He just says it how it is and he gets the job done. And this is it. I mean, in the very beginning, we had the message of ask for what you want. This is the key energy at the moment. What do you want from your life? What do you want from your relationships? What do you want from your future? What do you want in your career? What do you want in any aspect of your life? Ask for what you want. And it's asking yourself, giving yourself permission to go after it, and then asking the universe to help provide you these signs, these symbols, and these messages in order to achieve that goal. And this is where we're coming through. This is all of that unconditional love, loving yourself, having unconditional love for others, and knowing that once you ask for what you want, the universe is going to provide. It is not going to give it to you on a silver platter, but it is going to put people and situations in your path that are doorways that open you up to this energy, that will open you up to your future. And you just need to open the doors. Secret doorway, you need to open the doors. You need to know where to look. You need to trust in yourself, trust in this energy, trust in the messages that are coming to you, and you need to go through that transformation yourself. You need to step into your power, step into your royal energy, become that divine being yourself, and know you are divine. And the card I'm going to finish this on is the Ancient, on the bottom of the deck there. And I feel this is very interesting because this is, for me, this is coming into that Samhain energy, that All Hallows Eve, and the veil between the worlds being thin. This is when our ancestors quite often will walk the earth. And, this is the elder, the experience and lessons. This is coming in and telling us that we've gone through life lessons. Everything that we've experienced is all part of our life lessons. And we are stepping into a more... we're stepping into that wisdom now. We had the wisdom earlier, in the primal wisdom. We're stepping into that knowledge now. Looking at your life so far, and instead of feeling sorry for yourself or feeling like it's been such a tough road, even if it has been, it's knowing that this is all part of your journey, part of your life lessons, and knowing that you have gained strong wisdom from this situation. And what can you do different now? What can you learn from these situations? What can you teach others? And this is also saying that your ancestors are with you. Your ancestors are there to support you. You're not walking alone, even if you feel alone. Your ancestors are definitely there. I do feel this is also a key message for those of you who want to communicate with your ancestors at this point in time, perhaps parents or grandparents, or even ancient traditional ancestors. If you've got a long line of ancestors, tap into that energy at the moment, because you will get a lot of strong messages come through from them. They will be able to give you lessons as well. So it is going to be a very positive cycle, but it's going to be up to you what you do with it. So you need to claim your power now. You need to step into your wisdom, step into this new energy. And once you do, doors are going to open up for you, and your intuition is going to go crazy and shoot through the roof as well. So just remember to have love for yourself and have self-care along the way, and communication is always key. So I hope this has helped people. Thank you for joining me here in the forest, and I will be coming back with a reading for the full moon, perhaps maybe one in between, I'm not too sure. But if you did like this, please subscribe. I will be trying to do regular updates as well. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram to get in contact through Awakened Spirit, if you want to book in a reading as well. At this point in time, through the coronavirus situation, all of my readings are half price. So feel free to get in contact with me either via Messenger or via email. Thanks again, and enjoy your day or evening wherever you are. Thank you for watching.